Hello. My name is Meredith Jacobs, and I'm the CEO of Jewish Women International. Founded 125 years ago, JWI is one of the original Jewish American organizations, and we were a typical women's organization until 1988, when one of our members was shot and killed by her estranged husband in the parking lot of her workplace. At that moment, our mission and our organization was forever change, focusing on ending domestic violence. Our efforts include education, awareness, and advocacy. Just last week, we announced the formation of the Jewish Gun Violence Prevention Roundtable. But I remember a few years ago, we were bringing a little more than 100 members of our Young Women's Impact Network to Capitol Hill. Young women just beginning their careers were here to speak to congressional staff about issues that mattered to them. I remember so clearly sitting in an office not far from here with maybe 4 of the women, all in their 20s. One nervously began to speak. She shared that a few years before, she was trapped in an abusive relationship with a violent partner. Her boyfriend was controlling. He had a violent temper, and she was afraid of him. She filled out a danger assessment to figure out how likely it would be that he would kill her. Is he violently and constantly jealous of you, the assessment asked. Yes, she answered. Do you believe he's capable of killing you? Yes. Does he own a gun? Yes. During one particularly terrifying incident, she locked herself in the bathroom after her boyfriend stated with unnerving calm, "We should kill ourselves together," while he was cleaning his .40 caliber Glock. This was not the first nor the last time that he threatened her with a firearm. Eventually, she was able to safely exit the relationship. But that was the first time she would publicly share her story. She did so only in the hope that it would somehow make a difference. It didn't. Not then. But we have a chance now. Every 16 hours in the United States, a woman is fatally shot by a former or current intimate partner. In fact, nearly half of women who have been murdered were killed by a former or current dating partner. And yet federal law as it stands today, before the enactment of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, allows abusers committed of dating violence to keep their guns. Here's the thing that really doesn't make sense. Since 1996, domestic violence perpetrators have been prohibited from possessing firearms. But dating violence perpetrators who use the same level of violence are able to keep their guns. Same level of violence, different relationship status. And the very real reality is that more women today are in dating relationships, which means that more women are left vulnerable because of this loophole in our gun laws. Young women between the ages of 16 and 24 are most vulnerable to intimate partner violence, experiencing 3 times more violence than the national average. This is why JWI for so many years has focused our attention on college campuses, bringing healthy relationship, consent, bystander intervention workshops to students. But prevention isn't enough. In the last decade alone, in at least 53% of mass shootings, the perpetrator shot a current or former intimate partner or family member during the rampage. And this includes, but is not limited to, Sandy Hook, Parkland, Sutherland Springs, and Uvalde. With the partial closing of this loophole, we will save countless lives by preventing people convicted of dating violence by possessing firearms. And JWI and other advocates will continue our efforts to fully close the loophole by asking for state and federal laws that prohibit dating partners with restraining orders against them from having guns. I think about that brave young woman who just a few years ago shared her story in an office not far from here. I can remember her voice as she spoke. Quiet, shaky. Her voice is stronger now. And I know it is her voice, the voices of all survivors, and the voices of those of us who share the stories of those who did not survive, that got us to today, to this moment when we can make a difference. In Judaism, we are taught that to save one life is to save the whole world. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act is a necessary step in doing so. Thank you.